How will the Sooners react and respond to their Red River loss this past weekend? We're going to talk about it on Week 8's edition of Sooner Intel right now. Welcome back to Sooner Intel. Make sure you guys let us know if you can hear us on here. I'm not sure if you can or not, but we may have a little issue. So let me know with a 1 or 2 if you can't, or he'll tell us if you can. Real quick, let me see. All right. Hey, what up, Scott Walker? Good to see you, sir. I'm gonna change that out real quick too. What up, guys? Obviously, you got to get in here and talk a little bit about last week's debacle in the Cotton Bowl, and then looking forward to this week. Obviously, it's. I think you heard Coach Stoops talking about it, the other day about you can't allow one game to beat you twice.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of where I'm starting. Obviously, Jason Watkins, Hall of Fame college football, Kchris Griffin from the Horns Down podcast, and Mr. Mason, Sooners 360. Welcome back to the show, gentlemen.
Well, welcome, guys, from your trip to Dallas.
It was not that fun. It was not that fun.
Well, Chris certainly tried to make up for the bad football game.
No, yeah, no. I had a great time down there in Dallas. Shout out to everybody in Dallas. They had a good time. Regardless, though, hey, I'll put it like this right here, guys. I definitely put a damp on the week. I'll give you that or whatnot. I had to kind of go through my if we lose kind of week, right? Like what I usually do, just focus on work, focus on my family, and go about my business, right? But hey, man, I'm back in the saddle. I'm back. I'm ready for it. It's a great opportunity. I can't. I was going to come to you guys regardless of what happened, and I was going to come to you guys and say, hey, this is an important game here. South Carolina is a good team, but we have a great opportunity to go out there and win this game. What I would definitely say is this right here. I said it before. I said it on our recruiting pod. Go and listen to the recruiting pod on Mondays. Definitely every Monday, you'll see it right here. We have it 8 p.m. Chris Mason and I. But with that being said, it happened to Baker. It happened to Kyler. And you still saw where they ended up. So it's just one of those things where, guys, I had to go back. I had to go back and watch other games, the Michigan game, the Auburn game, just see some games where I was just like, okay, was it just that defense was just that good, or was it just something with Mateer? And I think it was just really his eyes, man. Don't get me wrong, it was kind of a lack of creativity at times or aggressiveness, especially in certain situations, especially, towards the end of that second quarter, right? But at the same time, I think that, you know, some rust, some different issues or whatever, but it is what it is. It happened. I'm past it. I'll let you guys get off what you want to get off, but kind of is what it is. Everybody, hey, we still got a lot more games. I mean, here's the thing, guys. Look, there's a possibility that you could walk in there, beat South Carolina, then you come home and you have pretty much a top 15 matchup, top 12 matchup, however they want to spin it, next week in the polls against Ole Miss, right? There's an opportunity for that. There's an opportunity for, again, a top 15 matchup if they lose and we win. So it's one of those things where you just need to go out there and take care of business and just take it one game at a time. That's not the end of the season. It is what it is. Bad game, worst game, whatever you want to call it. But I guarantee you they're going to come out here and play really good football. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit with our predictions, and then just kind of what we think will be the keys to success for that.
Sure. And I think, I mean, the thing is as I said, you can't allow it to beat you twice, and no matter how it is, and I think that there's plenty that you could say, hey, can't have this kind of performances and stuff like that. It's concerning that when you're playing this guy, and it was a risk to do it. And it was, I remember what you said last week. It was like, look, if he comes in and he's not good, take him out. He
Yeah,
wasn't good. They didn't take him out. And to me, I hated seeing them leave bullets in their gun. You know what I mean? If you've got an opportunity, even with 10 minutes left, you're only down 2 scores. You have an opportunity to go out there and find a way to get back in this game, and they didn't do it.
yeah. Kchris Mason.
Well, we talked a little bit on Monday, off camera and all that. Yeah, I mean, the only concerning point for me is that Mateer, the 3 picks were bad, but the missed guys and the missed opportunities were maybe even worse. Just a lot of missed opportunities in terms of seeing the field and getting the ball out to wide open guys. That's the only concern I really have out of the game, is that he's got to start hitting. He's got to start hitting some of those big plays. We need some of those big chunk plays.
Yep.
And he's got to start hitting them, because we're going to need points against some of the teams coming up. The defense, I mean, guys, it's 13-6 before that bullshit punt return. So
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time really poking too much
I,
at the defense. Too much.
What bothers me about Brent, he doesn't come out there and say much about the offense, but he's like kind of raking his defense over the coals.
I'm with you there. So the defense, the missed tackles were bad, and some things for them to focus on and all that. Definitely get that. But overall, like I said,
The coaching thing that you can do in practice. You don't need to tell us about it. We saw what the hell happened, and what we really saw was a lack of crispness and everything else. I mean, it's something that I think Gabe and Teddy brought it up, and it was important that you say it. Get some discipline and run these routes right. Don't be stacked on top of each other. And I mean, get to your assignment. If the route calls for you to break in at 7.5 yards, don't do it at 8. Don't do it at 10. Do it at 7.5.
I think, and Ben G, shout out to Ben G being in here as our Texas brethren, and shout out to you guys. Good win. I don't think he was rattled. I think it was a thing of, it was just trying to knock off some rust. The pocket closed a little bit sooner than what he was thinking, and there was times where he got a little bit of happy feet or whatever. But there's guys running down the field. He's got to see that. Kchris Mason, I would say this right here, just kind of off of your point. I think, yes, some of those plays are definitely there. There are plays going down the field where he can chunk it, all the rest of that stuff, where we can pick up chunk yardage. But I think also one thing, if I'm just going to play backseat quarterback, right, Monday morning quarterback, right,
Right.
one thing I'd like for him to do, because it's there, it's there an awful lot. If we look in the flat, those running backs are wide open, especially during that Texas game. Those in the flat, those running backs were wide open, not a player within 5 yards, 5 to 10 yards within them. So it's just being smart. But here's the thing, people. Here's the thing, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and say that Auburn's defense is Texas defense. I'm not going to sit here and say Michigan's defense is Texas defense. But we've seen 2 really good defenses, really stout defenses. I don't care what anybody says, that Auburn defense is a good defense. Okay, they can't help their offense. We were there last year. We know exactly what that experience is like.
Are we there this year?
Michigan. Michigan is a stout defense. You know they're going to be workmanlike, right? Whatever happened at USC happened at USC. I don't know what happened, but then again, you saw a Temple defense and a Illinois State defense that I am not going to sit here and say that they are just so amazing. It's just some of the different looks that they want to present you. Those are things that you knew you were going to see the further you got in the season, that's what you were going to see. So, going back and watching that stuff, I say, hey, it's only up from here, because the whole thing, we've seen him in big games. We've seen him play well. again, I'm confident that John Mateer is going to get it right. I don't think that this is a thing where we were at last year with JFA. Don't think this was a thing where we were kind of at with Dylan, to where Dylan was really good, but the big picture had to be the big picture. It couldn't be messy, right? He would always be consistent, but you knew what his ceiling was, right? You knew where it was tapped. John Mateer, he's not that, right? So that's the whole thing, is that he went through these, some of these up and downs last year as well, but he played well. He played himself out of ruts even during games. This is another game here where I think that what we need to do is just go up there and just get momentum and just keep the crowd out of it. And again, just be consistent. But
That's the thing, right? Is to keep the crowd out of it. And I think the consistency part is I I would hope that after this, when you go through something like this, and shout out to Dustin for the super chat here, Damon Dustin, appreciate you, my guy. Um, and there are a lot of people in here talking about running the damn football and everything else. Look, here's the thing about running the ball. If at the very least, something that, I'm okay with getting into 5 wide as long as you score. Get down the field, put some points on the board. You can't be having this to where you're not scoring touchdowns. And then because you got Texas fans in here running their mouth about it the whole time. I'm sick of not scoring touchdowns against Texas. I'm with you. But the thing is that, and they talked about it on the Oklahoma breakdown too, is that why are our running plays dependent on tight ends making blocks that they're not able to make? These are things that we need to stop seeing. And look, again, I want to see this offense start doing things a little more crisp, a little more, and have a sense of urgency about doing it the right way. Be more fundamental, and this is where you got to hold them accountable for that. If you're this offensive coordinator, and for that matter, that goes for Mateer in his happy feet and not looking off his receivers and a lot of different stuff that you saw. If we're not going to say that he was hurt, which I still believe that he was hurt, but if we're going to say he's not, and he wasn't, then he just didn't, and he did not play well then. So which one is it? Either way, it's not a good situation with how this thing went down. And if he, you can't have everybody on the offense not doing things the right way and fundamentally. Go ahead,
Jason, can I just say one thing?
please.
Can I just say one thing? I'm not going to sit here and try to disagree with you or even argue with you on that. But what I would say is this right here. It's one game, people. It's just one game.
I'm aware that it's one game, but now this one game turned into, now if you don't go on the road and find a way to win this game now you've got Texas is not the third or fourth probably best team that we're going to still play this season.
No, and I get that. And this game
they're the best
reasons, but yeah,
they're the best defense. We don't see a better defense this year.
Yeah, I mean that's debatable. That's arguable. But
I've watched a lot of the football. I mean, Alabama's defense, Missouri, their defenses are not as good as Texas's. The stats don't back it up, and what I've seen doesn't back it up. And LSU's defense, I think that's a little bit of a
defense hasn't played anybody that has a pulse on offense really though either.
Well, I mean,
other than Florida got, and Florida got.
Yeah, if you think about just overall, I think they are the best. I don't think we're going to play a better defense the rest of this year. So,
well, even with that being said, people, like there's. You guys want to go to orange blood route? Then yeah, overreaction. Oh man, he's just going to pitch it in, man. We're just going to sell it in. We're gonna go 6-6 now. No,
we're doing, but you know what? We haven't broken down this together as a unit here at Sooner Intel. And the truth of the matter is, they didn't play well, Chris.
They didn't play well.
No, they played like crap.
They didn't play well, but at the same time, it's one game, man. When you were out there on the field, on the court, all the rest of that stuff. Sometimes there's some games where you look, I've been a part of a lot of those different games, and I get it. I've been on both sides. I've been where we laughed at our rivals, and I've been where, hey, our rivals, they got us. I've been there where people schedule your team for homecoming for a reason, and you gonna get smacked, but then you come back the next year or the year after that, and you know what you do? You pound the hell out of them. But it's just one of those things where I still feel good. We've been here before. I think Mateer is still on the same level as Mateer was. He's still going to skyrocket. I think there's a lot of season to play, and I think that at the end of the day, no, I'm not saying that he's Baker. I'm not saying that he's Collar, but I'm saying it happened to them as well. Were you down like that on those teams? And the thing is, the difference between those teams had a lot of talent offensively, but they didn't have this defense to back them up. This is the SEC ball. This is what we got to expect. It's one bad game. Yes, it was bad. We could talk about that or whatever the case may be, but we still got a whole season in front of us. All you got to do is go win. And usually, OU responds really well whenever there's some adversity. And to be honest with you, here's the thing. I don't like a OU team that's getting patted on the back and everybody's saying it's good. That would be great in a perfect world. Not in a
Sure.
perfect world. I
No,
like a
we're not.
OU team.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like they played. I mean, again, it's 13-6
Mhm.
before the bullshit bunt return with the 3 blocks in the back, including the Taylor Wine one was just. I mean, it was absurd that it didn't get called. I mean, I don't know how you don't call that.
Well,
I mean, but that's Texas. That's the Texas game in Dallas. Um, but I feel like we played badly. But again, it's we can't pull a Penn State and let the Oregon loss lead to a UCLA loss, right? This is,
Right.
and you've got to get refocused. Mateer is certainly saying all the right things, and you know, uh, other than that, I'm just not sure. But it's too much more to rehash from Dallas. It was a bad showing. There's things they need to the offensive staff. I mean, I'll throw this grenade, and then we can move on to South Carolina. The only thing I wish is I wish that Brent had relieved Joe John Finley of his duties and made Kevin Wilson the new tight end coach to get the offensive room and the offensive coaches, DeMarco, Emmett, Bill, whoever, to start getting some freaking urgency about our season and getting things fixed and getting things and realize, you know, everybody's job's on the line here. This is, we're coaching, we're coaching for our lives every week with this schedule and with the opponents we have to play and the road and away mix and the home games we have and all that. So that's the only thing if you want to go like hardcore fan mode, that's the only thing I wish is that I think the offensive coaching staff kind of needs a kick in the ass to say, start fixing things now. But we'll see what they do in Columbia. We can start talking about that.
you have to make some adjustments. I think that's the main thing. I just want to see them make some adjustments that we didn't see them make in the second half of the game. I mean, look, it's a tough pill to swallow, man. When you lose, you've lost 3 out of 4 now. You've lost
Yeah,
3 out of
and there
4.
are OU fans. I mean, I've been dealing.
You hadn't scored a freaking touchdown. This is not okay.
I mean, I've been dealing with OU fans all week that want Brent gone. I'm like, okay.
Well, I'm not going there. That's not what. And look,
No, but that's where they are. They're in the mode that they're in the
I know.
the 3 out of 4 for
I've
Texas.
been dealing with the shit too. Yes.
Two TDs, in 2 years or whatever, or no TDs in 2 years or whatever, which I think is just sort of a clickbait, irrelevant stat. A loss is a loss at some point on some level. I mean,
Sure.
would one touchdown in last year make you feel any better? I don't think it really does. But yeah, I think it's I that's the only thing I wish is I just need to start. I need to see some urgency about adjustments and doing stuff that we can actually accomplish against South Carolina.
South Carolina they present you that chance. That's the thing. When you watch some of the film, not even just the in the weeds or whatever, but when you put them on film or whatnot, it's one of those things where they're going to play close. They're going to play a very gritty game. Uh, down the line. I like BG. See that's why I like you. We got to both rebound this week because traditionally coming out of Dallas, we both yeah. That's the point. But again, Texas is in the rear view. We got bigger issues. Okay. Offensive line, got it. This is going to be one of those games you got to play. You can't let them come out there and try to attack. I think that you're gonna be able to make some big plays this game. Their secondary has not been great. I don't think Mateer is going to go out there and make them look great. I don't think we're going to have any turnover issues. That's not even a slight that's not a slight at Hawkins by any means. That is a slight at Latrell and the rest of the coaching staff last year. But I don't think that you're going to come out there and spot them points. I think consistency is what you're going to be looking for. I think that you will be able to have a decent showing in the run game. I think you'll have a decent showing in the pass game as well. They give you opportunities. And also, one thing that I will say, the Tears legs are not that hasn't been a problem for us. Now, obviously in critical situations or just kind of obvious situations you've seen where like it's kind of obvious that he's going to run the ball. But I will say this right here: when I was in Dallas and I was sitting at a bar watching some of the LSU South Carolina game, who was running the most on South Carolina? At least that's what it felt like. It definitely wasn't old boy 29. It definitely wasn't the running backs. Who was it? Go ahead and say his name. You know you gonna say it. It was Nussmeyer.
No,
Nussmeyer was running all over them.
no
There
doubt.
are gonna be alleys. I would tell people all the time. Hey, I mean I would tell people today, if you went and watched In the Weeds with Eichern and Lehman, I would say everything that they said, listen to that, but also kind of apply it to the opposite. A lot of the things that they do, or that they were how they were talking about Lenore Sellers, the same thing you could say about John Mateer. John Mateer is going to have alleys to run. Thing that you have to do is, and don't get me wrong, there's going to be some plays where he just looks just so stellar, and I'm talking about Dylan Stewart. I mean, some of the things he does with Dylan Stewart, you have to punish him when he just tries to out athlete you. Whenever he's not staying close to sticking to his technique and combining that with his God given ability, which is just tremendous. Yes, it works, but it's just like a 50-50 ball. There's times where he just gets pushed way out of the play. There's times where he becomes a non-factor and you don't really hear that much from him simply because people are punishing him anytime that he tries to come down and just jump and do all the athletic things that he can do because he's a freak of nature. So the whole thing is just being disciplined. We know that they're going to have a decent defensive line. We know that they're going to be stout in the run game, but take your shots when you have those and be consistent. And like Jason said, just want to see a sense of urgency with the offense. If you ask me in particular, what I would like to see, I'd like to see us
Be
a
sharp,
little bit
man.
tempo. Well, not only be smart, but a little bit more tempo. When we
Sharp is what I said. Be
yeah,
sharp.
yeah, be sharp. When we ran tempo in the Texas game, it looked like that's what helped us get down the field an awful lot, right? Defensively, again, I get it. I get it. I know BV's always looking for that perfect call, but we need to, I was watching was it Rodney Anderson and I think Caleb Kelly, and they pointed out something which was like, he's gonna call the best play. But it's like, sometimes I think these other teams, I could see South Carolina come out there and try to run just a tad bit of tempo to try to, get us and catch us in certain situations. So we got to have some type of base plan. I would like to see that from the defense. I think that we will have opportunities to be in the backfield an awful lot, but unlike what you did in Texas, you gotta go and connect. You gotta get home. Either you get home or your secondary is gonna have to be good because when he gets outside the pocket, if he's not taking off, he's looking for a bomb. He's not looking just to complete something in the intermediary game. He's looking to drop a bomb with those wide receivers that he has. So
It's
I mean, just
all high risk, all high reward, right? It's just
yeah, yes, that is Lenore Sellers
That is
all
what he is.
day
And
long. Yeah.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And I think that they've struggled too mightily on with their offensive line. They fired their offensive line coach last week.
Yeah.
So I think this is an opportunity for your defense to go out there and eat. You got to be careful about giving up the explosive play. But I think if you look back to last year, the turnover situation is what, having tight ends blocking all American edge guys was the problem there. And,
Yeah.
and having those 3 early turnovers. If you look at what Lenoir's numbers were last year, they weren't great. So, you know, they didn't even, I don't think they had a 50-yard rusher. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot that they did aside from those, getting the ball in good situations for them and being able to punch it in there, which shout out to them for doing it. I think you got an opportunity to kind of return the favor this year. You go in there and smack them around a little bit on your defensive side, but you got to put some points on the board for sure. And I
Yes.
mean,
I mean,
I'd love to see them just be a little sharper, is all.
their season's on the brink too. I mean, it really is. I mean, they dropped this game. I mean, they're staring at potential 5-7, 4-8 kind of season. So
Not only that, but this could be the game that sends Beamer, pretty much to Vitek.
it could be, so that and so
It could.
obviously they need this game, but that pressure works both ways, right? And they're not really playing well under pressure, so to speak. So from that perspective, so I it's Beamer's got a mess on his hands, and the season isn't going well.
Yeah, true Oki, what he's saying, keep USC in the pocket and let those D tackles collapse into his lap. Hard for USC to put drives together. I'm looking at just now. Yeah, with the type of QB they have, BV he said will send the house and make him process fast and kill the run game. Yes, yes. The thing. Just bear with me here, real quick. The one thing that I will say is that that's something that we are going to have to get better at defense. We're going to have to adapt fast. Some of their inside run game, right? Against Texas, that was something that they kind of we had them in the backfield, let them slip out of tackles, couldn't wrap them up. I know our Mason Thomas was on the ground and could not, for whatever reason, hold on to to Wisner's leg. Regardless, though, they have some durable backs. They have some good backs. Not necessarily worried about them busting 40 and 50-yard runs on us unless we are just, lackadaisical like we were on that one play against Michigan, right? But I don't necessarily see that happening. But at the same time, you got to question: are they going to come out there with kind of that same that not necessarily mentality, but that same scheme that Sark kind of went towards that second half, which was kind of pinching, his guard and his center to kind of isolate one guy and basically saying go win a battle, running back, on that back end, right? Because that's kind of pretty much what was happening when they found a little bit of success, just kind of stretching, collapsing that pocket one way, and just basically trying to give him an alleyway on that back end to try to bounce back, right, or for a little cutback lane, right. And so it was moderately successful against us. So that's something I'm looking for with South Carolina. Do they come out there trying to do that in the run game? Because they're going to have to establish the run game early and often to really sustain drives. Because I don't think that this is a game where Lenore Seller's legs are going to beat you unless you put him in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 type situations the whole time to where you know, he can do a lot of QB blast, QB lead, QB whatever you want to call it. For, some wildcat stuff. Just for him, some of those design runs or whatnot. So they're gonna have to establish that. But I think defensively we'll be fine against them. But that's something that you got to imagine they're going to do. And then also, Jason, I'll pass it to you. Do you think that? Obviously Harbor is he looks the part. We know
Sure.
he has world class speed. So it's a thing where to me, my unc's been screaming, "Hey, put Gentry on him. Put Gentry on him. Take him away." And because he will float away. It's not like he's been setting the world on fire this year. Just don't be the team that allows him to do that, right?
Yeah, I think you have to stick Gentry to, or whatever you do, you need to have a safety that's probably going to bracket him if he gets anywhere past about 15 yards. You can't you can't let him get behind you. If you do, he's gone. So I don't know how it doesn't feel like you're going to. you should be able to give them enough time to get him down the field. But yeah, I think that you need to have whoever's going to be guarding this guy needs to be up on the line and banging him off the line and making it hard for him to get going
Yeah.
because he is that kind of dude. I mean, again, he's not he's not one of these route runner type of cats that, he's going to do a lot of things. What he does have is, and he doesn't have the best hands either. But if he gets behind you, it's trouble. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to catch him, and we've got some speed. Nobody's going to catch that guy. So, I would tell you too, Coach I's nephew, he's been, I don't know how much he's been. It doesn't look like they've really used him as much. But oh man, what is his name again? It's I'm gonna have to look here. But anyway, it's they offensively they've struggled, man. They've really struggled with it, and so I don't look at Lenoris as a big passer, but he's got a big arm. So one of those deals that you just you got to look at it and say, look, these guys are they've got some weapons that they can beat you with, and Lenoris, is dynamic at a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
So you definitely you're going to want to make sure that you keep him in between the tackles. Don't let him get set the edge on him. Don't let him get outside of there. Passing yards, he's at 1,000 yards right now. Lenoris is, but and he's passing for 64%, but he's only got 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Rushing wise, I mean, only 117 yards. This has not been a great year for him.
Yeah, they haven't really let him loose, in the way that you
Oh.
thought that you would see. Obviously, they've been trying to focus on kind of refining his passing skill. I think the kid has all the tools. I mean, he's what right now, present day, even though the guy I'm about to name is in the league. I mean, if you want to compare him to Anthony Richardson, I would say he's probably a little bit past that, in my opinion.
So OU should use a rubber band defense on Saturday?
What does that mean? The rubber band defense?
Sorry, bad Anthony Richardson joke. Sorry, he got hit in the eye with a rubber band, and his eye got all busted up. So he got taken out by a rubber band in pregame and had to get put on the DL. So Colts fans are having a little fun at that.
That is insane. But no, I mean, the whole thing is just it's going to be a physical game. This is a physical team. We know that they can on any given Saturday can go play with whoever and cause them hell. LSU, for all the things that, I mean, we're probably the most comparable to LSU right now. Not really a solid running game, kind of dependent on the quarterback being able to make plays, heavily relying on the defense, to go out there and do what they do, right? So the thing is that opportunities will present themselves. We just have to go out there and execute. I think that's all you're asking for. I think that if things are right with Mateer, and the passing game is going and you capitalize, you need to go and score touchdowns. You go and capitalize and do that and make this a 4-quarter game. They love playing at 4-quarter games, but at the end of the day, you can pull away from them. They lose gas, they lose steam. And I think the biggest thing is that, again, I'm an eye test guy. I'm not a logistics guy. I'm an eye test guy. I watch Dylan Stewart, and I say this right here. There are times in a game where I look at the body language and I say, kid, you got it all, and I get it. But at the same time, you made that decision to go to South Carolina. Like, don't be mad. Like it is what it is. Don't get me wrong. I've seen him out there Benji like this. I've seen him out there where he go crazy. He looked like Overshown. How Overshown would celebrate a lot after big plays that he would make. But I mean, there's times where I see the kid in the third and fourth quarter, and the game is getting away or slipping away. And you see him, the effort is there, all of that. I don't judge that. But what I do say is that you see the hands on the hips, and you just see him kind of shaking his head like, man, this is bullshit, So it's one of those things where you got to take him out of the game. You got to isolate, make sure that he doesn't get going and all the rest of that stuff. And any of the times that he does, just go ahead and still put a foot on them. I think you take him away and then you work that secondary, which I think is the weakness of their defense. You should be fine, but you cannot come out here and play around with them. You got to be able to get 3 and outs, and you got to go over there and put points on the board.
They seem a little loose with the football too. In the LSU game, they were, they had 2 critical turnovers in that game. they ran the ball 43 times for 200 yards, 72 of that on one play, and that was their one touchdown was a big run by their running back. LSU sort of ran the ball. Durham had some stuff. They had a big one big run again. Big chunk of their yardage came on just one play. Sellers' passing stats are pretty bad in that game. I mean, 25 throws for only 116 yards, with only 13 completions. So doesn't look like their passing game is really clicking at all right now. You guys see their remaining schedule?
Yeah,
that?
they're
They've got a schedule similar to Oklahoma's.
Yeah. They got us. Then they got Alabama at home. Then they have to go to Ole Miss, to Texas A&M, and then they end with a Clemson team that seems to be rounding into form. I mean, they don't really have. I mean, this could be a brutal end of the season for Beamer.
And Chris Mason, that's why I was telling you the other night. I was like, hey man, look, I get it. And Jason, I get it as well. All three of us talked about it coming into the season. There were 3 games that we said, hey, BV's got to win. He won 2 out of the 3, and the third one was the one that we definitely said, hey, you got to win that game, right? But at the end of the day, again, 12-team playoff, there's still a lot of things right here. I don't like talking like this, but I mean, it has to be said that I get it. What team is going to show up Saturday? What's going to happen? This and that. It's one game. Let's go. Let's give them one more chance to go out there and show us that, hey, we can find consistency with this group of coaches and this group of players. And the biggest thing is to just know, just like what we're talking about now, there are a bunch of other teams on our schedule who have a gauntlet now that nobody's talking about simply because some of the teams that were not supposed to be good, the Tennessees, the Missouris of the world, they're pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So there's some trap games on people's schedules. You got to go deal with Texas A&M. You got to go deal with Ole Miss. You got to go deal with Mississippi State. It's some trap games. There's some good games out there. Wouldn't even call them trap games.
Vandy's a trap too. So
Yeah, Vandy. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, but and the teams, the teams on our remaining schedule all have some pretty significant flaws.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I know Auburn is going down the drain as we speak. They're gonna play a perfect game at some point this season. It may be against your team, whoever they face the rest of the way. So
Well, if I'm an Auburn opponent, I'm like, please do not change quarterbacks until after we play you,
yeah.
right? Because I mean, I can't believe Freeze hasn't pulled the trigger yet on playing Deuce McKnight. Maybe he sucks in practice. I don't know. But after, I mean, watching that Georgia game was just painful.
Yeah.
It was just, I mean, beyond the refereeing hijinks. Watching Art Jackson just fail play after play in that Auburn game when all they needed was one lousy drive. But before Georgia took the game over and got out ahead, but there was a stretch in the third quarter where they just needed one drive to just keep momentum going. That was it. They just needed one drive. So, and obviously the fumble on the goal line. Well, been there, done that, right, guys? Yeah, I think that's. I mean, I think South Carolina comes in pretty mentally fragile, if you ask me. You don't have a confident feeling when you fire your offensive line coach on Monday. That's not the act of confidence.
No. You only can, and I would say this right here. Let's not let them come out there and be Superman, but at the same time, you can only play inspired so long. Emotion is only going to carry you for so long until shit hits the fan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd love to see an early touchdown, couple of 3 and outs, and just kind of get the crowd who's already about to turn on him, get that crowd real quiet and just play an efficient game from there on out, and just put them away.
Yeah. And I think that's the main thing that you want to try to do here is like, I mean, they're down anyway. They're not feeling good about themselves. You're seeing Beamer over there. He's got his is, he's, doing what he does. It's just so dramatic, old Beamer. The way he does that shit. But if you can turn them that way early, you should be able to punch them in the face and just roll. But that being said, this is an opportunity to get going. You can't afford to not get going here and find a way to win, because this, again, worst team you're going to play the rest of the way by a lot. If you can't win this one, how are we going to believe that you're going to go through the rest of that gauntlet
Look,
without
it's a road win. It'd be a big. I mean, they're 3-3, and and you're right. They are struggling, but going to Columbia, getting a road win would be big. I hate to say it, but any road win in this league is going to be big. So, and if you could beat Columbia, then you're like, okay, let's go home and rally towards Ole Miss, and then that puts you in a great position, hopefully, to then go to Rocky Top, who defensively look to be completely discombobulated. I mean, 500 yards to Arkansas. I mean, they nearly dropped that game at home. I mean, that was 250 on the ground, 250 in the air. So, I mean, it was, like I said, everybody we play has flaws, and they've got big games coming up to play us. We're going to catch Ole Miss off UGA. We know UGA is going to hit them for 60 minutes. They're not coming out of that game without getting hit. So, unlike last year where we kept hitting everybody after a bye week, this year we're catching teams off huge games. Mm-hmm. We'll see if it makes a difference.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, that was a tough loss for them last week too. I mean, this is what happens to them in these tough games, but we can't be that. You don't want Oklahoma to go in there and be that team that every once in a while they'll beat somebody they're not supposed to also, particularly when they're in the Willie beat, and that's where you are. Yeah. Thankfully, it's not a night game, but I think that you need to go ahead in there and grind them down a little bit early on and make sure that they had to pay. I mean, almost you want to see them kind of go through what Oklahoma went through last year with them. You know what I mean? And that
ideally, drop a couple early turnovers and just grab some momentum and just get them thinking about the fact that they're only scoring like 10 points a game. Mm-hmm. So you want to jump to our predictions?
Urgency is definitely the key in this one. Let's jump into our in-game predictions. Obviously, I mean, when you start seeing stuff like what I just did, I don't know what I just did. Shit, I'm struggling today. All right, South Carolina game, leading rusher. We're expecting all of us, Torrey Blaylock. It'd be nice to get him going a little bit. Be nice to get anybody going a little bit, but I think it's clear that he's the guy. As far as your running backs are concerned, he's your number one guy. I don't know that we're even going to see a whole lot of Ott anymore from the way it sounds. So I don't know. Anybody got anything to say about that?
Not about the leading rusher, but I'm pretty sure I chose Satania.
Oh, did you?
And Kchris chose Burks.
Oh crap! Yeah, he did. Let me fix it. I'll fix it right now. So I'll fix it right now. But we can move.
We can move on. We can move on from that.
Well, I mean, yeah. Just give me just a second. I'll fix it. But go ahead. Let's go to the next thing that you want to talk about, or the first thing you guys want to talk about.
Well, I think Mateer does pass for over 300 yards. We do a lot of this. We do a lot of the air raid stuff that we did against Texas that was working. And their secondary is not good, so there are going to be plays there. Hopefully, it looks like Keontae Lewis is going to be out, so we're going to get a lot of Giovanni Gibson. And I'd like to see Elijah Thomas, and that would be I think it's where we're getting to the point where we need to start seeing, mixing it up. Our wide receiver rotation is really skewed pretty heavily to those three veterans. So. I think Satania, there are big plays for him. Just hit him downfield. He's the one guy kind of making guys miss a little bit, and
catching
clean. He's got speed. He can take, some of those throws where he's wide open. Hit him deep, and let's go over the top on some people and go from there. So that was my main feeling with Satania, but. I do think we'd love to have a breakout game from Giovanni Gibson, right? I mean, him establishing as maybe the co number ones with Satania, and maybe that frees up Burks a little bit, from a coverage standpoint, and we can get him going too. So
Yeah, and I think Satania is your best receiver at this point. I don't even think that there's really a
yeah.
a
So
pretty
I do think
he
though
has been
if
up until this point, but Giovanni has the ability to not only run away from you, but go
yeah
up
yeah
and
yeah
50 balls and do some stuff like that as well. So I think he's been ramping up to this point. Is why I've already been picking in the last 2 weeks. He's been my favorite transfer guy since he transferred in. So I'm excited to see him kind of have a good day. And I think somebody needs to have a good day.
yeah.
You know,
If we win the
love to
game, we're talking
go
about
more
some
than
big plays
21.
from the receivers. If we beat South Carolina, part of the talk Saturday will be, man, this wide receiver really stepped up.
I think so. I think you have to.
Yeah.
But none of us are really expecting a 100-yard rusher. You know, I don't know that until you start seeing it happen. I don't know how you could. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 100-yard receiver, yes, we expect that. Or I expect one as well. I think that I don't know that you get to the 300 yards necessarily, but I think that you can get 270 and 3 or 4 touchdowns. I think that's possible, right? So
Yeah.
100 yards. If you get to 270, somebody's probably got 100.
Yeah. If you get to 300, somebody has 100.
Yeah.
It's just the question, is if they de-emphasize the tight end a little bit, what does that do to Canick's reps, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can just make him a big receiver. That'll work too. So, but yeah, I think if we get it, well, we need Satania, Burks, or Gibson to have a breakout game.
Somebody needs to have a breakout game.
At wide receiver, yeah.
Yes. That would be great. Boy, Doomers. And oof. All right. No special teams touchdown expectations for any of us. I mean, maybe you could. I mean, Satania feels like he's going to have one at some point, but I don't know. And I wasn't ready to say it either. I do think the defensive touchdown. I think, I did say yes on that. So,
I mean, they are.
They're coming. They've got to be coming, right?
Sellers doesn't have great ball security. I mean, he'll wildly throw picks and he will fumble the ball. So, I think it's definitely could be coming, but it didn't work into my score. My score. So that's why I didn't say it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Does OU have an offensive play over 50 yards? Yeah, I think. Kchris, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think they do. I think they I want to say I think you'll be able to get something down the field, but I also think that you may be able to hit a screen. I think you also may again, if Materi's in the field and doing what he needs to do, I think you may be able to see something in the flat because guys are open and they're focused on certain things. And I think that this is a game here where I think that we may be able to get our mojo. We may be able to find that groove offensively to where we may be able to attack them down the field. I would not be surprised if you see some shots early and often from Mateer. So I just see it happening, but I could definitely see it happening on like a screenplay or something. I think that once you get past that first level, which is honestly just whoever is in the box with that D line, I think that you can kind of break this defense down. So I do believe that you'll get a 50-yard play.
Okay. Yeah, and I expect as much as well. I don't think that they're great on the defensive side. They've got good edge guys for sure. They lost a lot of guys off of that defense from last year, and again, they've struggled, man. I think that you can find a way to kind of get this thing going. Some kind of success, maybe even in the run game, but for sure, I think you're going to have some offensive success here. And my thing would be if you are struggling with Mateer and he's supposedly healthy now, I mean, go ahead and I got to say, if he's not going to play well, you need to move on to the next thing and see what happens. You got to spark this offense somehow. Okay. Do they hold South Carolina under 300 yards? Yeah, I think we're all saying that. And I mean, Mr. Mason, they've been doing it most of the year. So,
I mean, they basically did it against Texas. I mean, it was really it was barely over 300. So in a game they weren't playing well. So if they're firing on Saturday, South Carolina's offensive struggles could lead you to like a 200-yard total. Really, they could. I mean, that's how bad they've been playing on offense.
yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, defensive MVP. R. Mason, you got David Stone again. Stone just continues to be on that upward trajectory, huh?
Mid-season All-American, according to two different sites. Put out today. I think it was CBS Sports Online said they put him on their first team All-American team.
Yeah, he was a stud. No two ways around it. He was a stud.
But I like your guys' picks. I like the Taylor Line pick. He's playing well.
He is playing well, and he's even being hard on himself too. So it's like it's one of those things. He's expecting to come up with a big play here and there. I can see him making that. He's made some big plays, but he said himself he doesn't care about tackles for loss. Well, those matter, but he's trying to get to the quarterback, and I'd like to see that for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it's definitely coming. No, I picked R. Mason Thomas. I think this is a game where he could get loose, man. I think he could really get loose. It'd be interesting to see how quick they try to get the ball out of Sellers' hands. This is a game here where, hey, offensively, just don't let them get into a rhythm. I mean, we've seen them struggle against not only, like last week with LSU and some other, Mizzou, but if you go back to the Va Tech game, that was something that you spotted early and often.
Oh, yeah.
And that offensive line is bad. I mean, they're doing a lot of different things, but the offensive line is bad. And so you're able to stop the run game, you're able to stop this. You just have to go out there and score it. I mean, to be honest with you, that's what you have to have, the defense. I like some of the scores over here, too, that we have. Obviously, I know all of us have Mateer as the MVP. I think that he nuts up and goes out there and gets it. But like Corrections 101 has 27-13 OU. Jason, I really like your score, 24-10. I like it more than I like mine. Chris Mason, you were a little bit too close for comfort. But
let me explain the 19.
Go ahead.
Okay? So OU takes a safety to just run out the clock. So they take a safety, a strategic safety to just run the clock out.
And I got to tell you, if that's what it's coming to, that this offense can't go out and run the foot, do something positive, and you got to run out the fucking clock with a safety. Oh,
yeah, it's like the K-State game in 2001. It'll make strategic sense. You'll look at it and be like, that was a smart move, and then you'll be like, I'm Nostradamus here. Yeah. Plus, I didn't pick OU to cover, so I needed to come up with a score that made sense that way.
Yeah.
Because I can't say OU 31, South Carolina 20, and then not have OU cover in my bookie picks. So,
I get it. I get it. I see what you were doing. I see what you're doing. Sooner Cowboys has 20-13, so he has them covering. Yeah. Drop your score predictions in there, guys. I think again, we all kind of have the expectations here for Oklahoma to win, and they should win. They need to win for sure. They need to win because you're going to play tougher teams down the stretch. As you said, I think they are flawed, but you need to just, however, you got to find a way to win this game and get something positive going. So that would be great. Let's see. 27-17 says Cherry Bear. Satterfield has 24-13. 23-13 Richard Young. So yeah, appreciate it, guys. Good stuff. 17-9 OU, says Mysterious Black. I think nobody's expecting a whole lot. Rock fight type of game.
Well, until we see the offense until the offense shows us something, I think that's where we're all kind of stuck, right? We're like,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's this 24-point range we think, 20 to 24-point range we think OU can be, and then we think our defense can keep a struggling offense like South Carolina in the 10-point range that they showed against LSU. So,
Yeah.
I think I think it's those are old meaningful scores. I like T Boomer's score better,
Much better. Yeah.
but or Hank's, but
Mhm.
we haven't seen that 30-point mark consistently from them in
Yeah.
good game SEC play. So it'd be
Well,
nice if we started that.
if you're getting there right now, if they're going to, I mean, you could see them getting this 24 range or whatever, but then if you could get a defensive touchdown or two, which that would be great.
Better field, more turnovers with short fields or special teams short fields.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I could see that. If that's but we've been seeing mostly organic offense so far in good teams SEC play, right? We haven't been getting any of that boost. We obviously got the Auburn muffed, dropped punt, and we got it set up early there. But that's about it.
Yep. I agree. All right. So moving on to let's see, let's go ahead and move on to last week's
Ugh.
My Bookie pick 5.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was pretty ugly. It's pretty ugly, man. We obviously had a push on the Alabama at Mizzou game. That was a good football game. It's a good football game, but yeah, Oregon. Yeah,
What the hell happened to Oregon?
they were talking, man, and I mean, if you watched Game Day at all, they were thumping their chests. I mean, Dan Lanning pulling shirts off and shit. Like, I mean, it was wild, right? But and then Georgia going down. I mean, Auburn just wow.
I thought that pick looked dead, and then I'm like, no, he fumbled that ball. He didn't get in the end zone because if it had been 17-3 if he goes in the end zone, I think, or was it 17-0 if Jackson scored that touchdown instead of fumbling it?
Yeah,
I think it would have been 17-0 if I'm right. Yeah, that was bad. And then I did not see the men of Troy. I didn't see Michigan gacking like that.
Well, the one thing is that being at home and they have been very good. Jaden Mayava has been real good. I took a flyer on it just to see, but and part of it was because of USCJ. Like I said, he was in my.
Now you did on our show pick Michigan, but we're letting you slide on the USC pick on the spreadsheet.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Your spreadsheet picks are final. So.
Okay. Well, I never did change it on the spreadsheet for sure.
No, you didn't. But you did it on the show. We talked you into taking Michigan.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see. Auburn self-imploded in that other game. Yeah, they did, no doubt about it. I mean, look, there's some games here that it was, man, there's some good football that was played all last weekend, but obviously we didn't look too great in this. But it's tight. It's tight. You got a 2-game lead on us. On me and well, you got a 5-game lead on Kchris. But Kchris for this week in the My Bookie pick 5, make sure you get over and sign up for up to $1,000 in a welcome bonus, or you can get $500 worth of bet back as well. Just jump over there to hofmedia.us/mybookie1000 to get signed up and fund your account today. All right, let's take a look at this week's. And you've got, obviously, hey, that South Carolina, I hated putting that in there, but that, this is why we always make sure to put that score on the other one, though. You just didn't have them covering necessarily the 5.5.
It's a lot of points. A lot of points on the road for an offense that's been stumbling a little bit.
It kind of is. And we're both. I tell you this: if they don't get the offense going and winning by more than 5.5 against this struggling team, it'll be harder for me to pick them to do such a thing moving forward. So, yeah, Vandy and LSU. Kchris, what's up with this LSU pick? You believe?
Oh yeah, man. Look, Chris Mason. Chris Mason is a how should I say? He is a points merchant. He's not thinking he's outright. If he was doing that, I think it'll be a little bit different. But I got LSU, man. I think I think LSU goes and gets it done at Vanderbilt. Don't ask me how, but I think that they do.
All right, Jason, you got Ole Miss as your pick for the UGA game. Is that right?
It's the pick, but it's not. I expect UGA to win. I don't think that they're covering 7.5.
Okay.
I haven't seen them do anything on defense against anybody, so I have a hard time believing that they're going to.
And just so it's clear with Kchris, I'm picking Vandy to win. That 2.5 points wasn't me point scrounging. Now,
no, I got Vandy.
I am.
I believe in.
Now I am
Mafia.
I am point scrounging with the USC game. I don't see USC winning, but I don't see Notre Dame covering 9.5. I'm really surprised that spreads that wide.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot, right? I have
a lot of points. A lot of points.
Well, and they haven't played very good defense all year. They just haven't. So, and with this, I mean, the kid that Ole Miss got him a quarterback, man. They got them a quarterback. So as bad as they looked, I mean, you could have expected that to happen. They were going to completely overlook Wazoo last week and did, and played poorly, but found a way. But don't expect
that's a bad Wazoo team, though. That's a really bad Wazoo team.
Of course it is. Of course,
like Oklahoma State bad.
Sure.
No, I agree. Okie State, by the way, I think is the new benchmark for the worst team in Power 4 football.
Without a doubt. Yeah,
I mean, they're gonna get that golden sombrero trophy for being the worst team.
Oklahoma has won a Big 12 game since the last time Okie Light did. So
yeah, but I think Georgia is showing enough in their run game, and the Stockton kids playing pretty well. Ole Miss, this is their first road game, isn't it? Like their first game away from Oxford.
Totally, completely for the year.
Mizzou had 6 home games to start the year.
It's Mizzou. Oh, Ole Miss. I thought you said Ole Miss.
No, I think Ole Miss might be in the same boat.
I think you're right. With Mizzou. Mizzou hasn't been on the road yet. I heard that. Yeah.
I don't think they've. Mizzou started the year with 6 home games. They played KU at home and they've been on the road. But I don't think Ole Miss has exactly been a road warrior yet either.
They have not.
Sorry. They did go to Kentucky.
Right.
That's it. And they struggled badly there. So they've been feasting on home games. So going to Georgia, that's a bigger step up. At least you can say for OU, the OU Texas environment is a big game, noisy environment, right? However you want to cut the neutral site. So at least OU's been on the road from that aspect. But Mizzou's this is their first road game going to Auburn. So
yeah. And listen, that's a tough place to go play. There's people that are picking Auburn in that game because of the fact that they haven't been on the road yet.
Yeah,
and
I just can't.
They haven't played anybody with a damn pulse up until last week.
Yeah, and I almost added that game to our pick 'em 5, but these games seem more obvious. So
yeah.
So Chris, you obviously think Notre Dame's going to house the Trojans.
Oh, I think that's a good pounding right there. It's not going to be fun for the USC guys.
And
I have Notre Dame winning. I don't know that they're winning by 10.
So Jason, you think Tennessee's passing game is going to keep them tight with Alabama?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
Is that your main thrust there, that Tennessee?
And also, they can probably run the ball against this Bama defense. The Bama defense has not stopped the run, and they're not good running the ball either.
Well, they did a good job against Mizzou last week, right? And basically forced.
Well, I'll give you that. Yeah, well.
They forced Probilla to beat them, and he couldn't do it. So
that's a fact. They definitely did a good job, but I mean, they certainly, yeah. Listen,
it's Bama's secondary against Tennessee's wide receivers.
Game is all. I feel like this is another one of those games that
8.5
that they can play this game. They believe they can win this game. They've won it 2 out of the last 3 years.
So are you Tennessee outright, or are you just like, I'm not making that call, but I'm taking the ball?
No, I've got Alabama winning. I think Alabama's winning the game, but I'm not That's a lot of points to give. That's a
Eight and
lot
a
of points
half.
to give,
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on it. So to me, again, the same thing, and it's the same with USC because I think Notre Dame wins, and I don't know well, we've seen the SC really can't stop a good running team if they have any passing, and I'll tell you what, CJ
But
Carr looks better every week.
he is
Every
throwing the
week.
ball. He is throwing the rock. That's
He's
true.
spinning it, man, and he's a good player. So I think Notre Dame wins this game. I think that they're in a situation where they have to win this game. They don't have any
Right.
so otherwise they don't have a shot at the playoff. I expect them to win. I don't know that they cover it. This feels like and it's probably the last one for a while because Lincoln's running from the game. So it's maybe the last one for a while. I kind of expect it to be a kind of a slugfest a little bit. Have a good game. It should be a good game.
I told Kchris in our green room after our recruiting thing that I felt like the winner of this game is going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely
He
see
says
that.
he says I'm projecting too far out. There's too much good football to play. Chris is probably right.
But
But
Notre
the way
Dame Notre Dame has to win this game to get to
oh
the
yeah,
playoff. Though. If they're not going to, with them not being in a conference, and even though their two losses already they're the two top 5 teams and by a total of 4 points. One of them because their used to be quarterback couldn't catch a freaking snap for the extra point. You know what I mean? So it's not like they were a bad team to start with, and I know a lot of people want to act like they were, but they don't play enough really good teams down the stretch.
No, they've got to get this USC.
You just can't afford to lose 3.
They've got to get this USC win in. I mean, otherwise they got no big time wins. So
correct.
They'll have good losses, but they got to at least post one good win. And I think USC needs to win this game to kind of. It's going to get really muddy in the whole 10-2, 9-3 shuffle in the Big Ten teams for the playoff when we get closer to the end of November.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep.
No doubt. You think that Notre Dame's just going to crush though, huh? Kchris?
Yeah, same way. I'll be honest with you. I think Alabama's going to get Tennessee by more than 8.5.
Mm-hmm. And do you think Tennessee? Are you worried about Tennessee's defense, their secondary?
I don't see them playing a complete game in Alabama. I think that's the problem. If this was a New England stadium, I would probably take them on the numbers. But I think just going to Tuscaloosa, I think that's going to be tough.
You think so? Big part of your thing is the road game part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
I'd feel better about that if they ran the ball though, and they just don't run the ball that great.
They're getting a little better. Is Bam Miller still banged up?
No, he's playing. He's back. He's back playing. But
he got hurt after he came back. I was just wondering if he was
back.
He's
been banged up a little bit, but I think that he had a decent game last week. But you just didn't. And at least once a game, you're seeing where as much as, and I think that right now you got to say that Ty's the best quarterback in the country right now. But you've seen him miss a wide open guy and throw it into coverage. And I think at some point, not that it should be this game, but I'd like to see, you want to see him kind of get a little bit better. It's kind of like what we're saying about Mateer. Hit the open guy.
Yep. Okay.
But
it's a pretty good. It's a good week. I mean, a lot of shakeup in the SEC this week, just like last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, listen, the SEC is a wide open race still. It is a wide open race. And just so you know, Crow, this wasn't because of you. It's because we came to the end of the shit. So, bossing people around. What the fuck? What is this shit? All right. Tennessee will give up 350 through the air, says Shear. He could.
Yeah. It's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, their two best secondary guys have been gone for most of the year, and I didn't feel like they're coming back.
No, I don't think they are. I think they're done. I think they're done. The ACL guy, I think, is probably going to just rehab and go to the draft, and not risk his knee because he got injured so late in the year.
Oh. Shear says, and he's got a model that says, he's got one of these predictive models that he does pretty well with, and says Notre Dame's legit, but their D will struggle against the USC passing attack. Yeah, I think you're going to have to run the ball well, and you're going to have to do a good job throwing the ball. Again, CJ Carr's done that. CJ Carr has done that.
And USC's running back room has kind of got evaporated. They've lost 3 guys in the last two games. Yeah. So they're using their starters. The guy that was doing really well for them is having that sprained ankle surgery stuff. So he's out like 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Are you using the MyBookie spreads there, Sheer? How is it against the MyBookie spread?
That boy got a whole model.
He got a model. Yeah. Hey, his model's pretty solid too.
Is that on Amiga or is he running like a Sun Microsystems there?
I don't know. Jeff, tell us how you work it.
Is he using a vintage Amiga OS? Let me know.
He's been pretty spot on for the last 2 years that I've watched him. The CFB professor, he does that model with so they have the model that's been predicting. They've been perfect on selection for the CFP, every week.
Prediction show? Okay. Well, maybe we need to have Jeff when we get closer to that. If OU is in the mix, maybe we need to give us a forecast.
Yeah, listen, he said he was against the spread, so it was yeah. Hey, listen, plug in the MyBookie stuff, and we'll pop you in here one of these days. You want to do a call-in? Perfect. Anytime you like.
All right.
We'd love to have you. All right, guys. Anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here?
We are going to make it to a post-game show, right?
Yeah, we'll make it to this one.
I'll be out of town, but I will be in the place that I can run it. So, yeah, we're good.
All right, guys.
All right, John.
People were asking us on the recruiting, what the hell happened to the post-game? I'm like, well,
I ended up doing one later that night.
I know. I saw that you did that, yeah.
But it was.
Kchris was on the DL. It was all right.
Listen, man, he was a little trashed out, I think.
All right, guys. End it there. Let's go.
All right, man.
Appreciate everybody coming in. We will see you all on Saturday for the Sooner recap. Thanks a lot for coming in. See you on the next one.